I think that's a very good question, and we all see that there's a lot of changes in the last couple of years. So I think electric vehicles and different modes of mobility and trends, like buying goods online and no longer only in store, I think that is one of the main changes we see in our daily life, and obviously also our dealers are facing. As well, buying goods as a service changes the whole sales and service process for a car dealer. And that is not just since we see a higher number of electro vehicle or PHEVs or BEVs on the road. It is because the overall behavior is changing. We not anymore only buy cars, we also lease, rent, and use them as a service. So carpooling, car share are becoming, in particular in metro areas, a very popular topic. As well, at the same time, the service event as such is changing dramatically. The ability to service customer real time from anywhere, so from home, the office, and not just only in the traditional form of coming to your technician in a workshop into the car dealer. We also see that the demand or assumption of the customer are changing. So the expectation today is that the service is happen at their location. So not anymore again in the workshop. A good example years ago was with the windshield repair or tire exchanges or repairs. And now today providing services is more or less extending further. We know it a couple of years it was more service maintenance. You park your car at an airport in a kind of valet parking, and the car dealer was picking up your car, got the service done, and returns the car to a particular space. And when you came back from your trip, everything was done and dusted in a case of a service. We also need to keep in mind with electric cars, the model as such is changing because electric cars are not as service intensive as we know it from combustion engines. So that means the same service revenue a car dealer needs per vehicle is now completely different as we know it from the past. Those are the changes we are seeing, recognizing, and obviously our customers need to respond to. Well, today a dealer management system must be able to map the entire customer journey from thinking about buying a new car, meaning being a lead, until selling it as a used car, or maybe even scrap it because I had an accident and my vehicle is no longer valuable, or it's really, call it aged. Actual in the market available dealer management systems are possibly good at collecting data in a daily sales and after sales, meaning service and parts process, but are not end to end, do not really adopt the workflow and require workarounds when market and or product changes occur. And we know those are really, the pace is much higher. Many DMS dealer management systems are reaching the limit of what's possible. And any further tuning runs the risk of engine failure. Look, you can't twist an older engine up to the speed you like potentially to go. And the same is with the dealer management system. So to survive in such a competitive environment as automotive retail, instant available real-time data about every step in the process are needed. New requirements from the business are brought forward to the DMS providers and the internal IT department, such as work smoothly with online platforms so customer can browse cars, compare models, target certainly more the tech-savvy customers, but online internet is state of the art today. It should also manage inventory efficiently, so dealerships always know what cars they have, what do they have within their network, meaning within their branches or maybe stores and outlets, And at the same time, what is the status of such a vehicle, and having those information available. And what I need to know from my unit, meaning a vehicle or a tractor or a heavy equipment or a bus, I also have to have this about my service parts and what service units I need to do. Should even work at the same time as the DMS of today with a third-party solution, whether it's financing or creating estimates as a body and work model for accident repair. So solutions like Autotex in the market are very prominent. This makes it easier for customer to get financing or a repair created. Everything is a kind of one-stop shop feeling. And I think that is really important and crucial. In short, a modern dealer management system should integrate online, manage inventory, handle finances and financing, build a proper customer relationship, and provide obviously analytics along the way of my end-to-end process. Obviously with different level of priorities, more responding to the situation of an individual dealer or dealer group. That is also important, and some dealerships may work today on a true business transformations. And they know it's more a change management process. Others are still struggling with, call it, unstable core processes. So we always need to look into the regional aspects. What is the common way of doing business? At the same time, what is the maturity level of my client we are dealing with, to really map those criteria and way forward in a proper way. I think that is where it comes to. Of course, PROGO, as I said, abbreviation stands for Protect and Go. It is our new framework to accelerate the successful go live of our ProAxia vehicle sales and service solution as a complementary dealer management system on top of an SAP S/4HANA instance. So the comprehensive and modular service packages and the individual, call it, expert ticket support we can provide offers an end-to-end engagement of technology and business process expertise with best practices and obviously some risk mitigation services on your fingertips on demand. So it's not that we are need to be on site, or we are a kind of from the beginning to the end a crucial part of your project. No, with PROGO, we support our implementation partners, but also our partner client departments properly and or as they like it. So accessing the right expertise at the right time, that can be the key for making your deployment a success. So protecting those services proactively addresses those main issues and risks that usually are encountered in implementation projects we all know about. And they are not planned in advance. They come overnight. They come as we go along. So before starting, of course, a PROGO service, we recommend also, let's look into your scope. Let's look into the business key characteristics. But at the same time, look of the maturity level of the client. What is currently in place, where the client is today and where the client likes to be in the future. And then start tailoring more or less under consideration of constraints, needs and expectation, the PROGO engagement as we see it. It's a unique service offering, which goes in line with something what SAP over the years called Active Global Support, a paid service and support offering. In nowadays, they call it more safeguarding or max attention. And yeah, naming conventions are changing, but that is what we try to do with PROGO, offering the support for the ProAxia vehicle sales and service offering. Well, that is a very wide topic now, and I can potentially go on for hours, but I try to stay within a couple of minutes. We saw in various projects over the time, myself in 35 plus years, that during implementation phases, the whole organization is very focused on delivery and integration of the new system and getting rid of a couple of pain points and issues they had in the past. That's great and necessary. So don't have too many activities running at the same time. And it is a big undertaking, and system changes has to go along with the necessary activities on the change management side, as I already mentioned and indicated previously. But the constant strategic outlook is also very important, as we are facing fast changes and new requirements in automotive retail, sometimes driven by the OEM, sometimes by the importer in a particular country, or the market, obviously by the dealers themselves, because they like to create an individual customer experience and client value, making their offering a kind of individual customer tailored experience. That's why I think we created the service beyond ProGo and Protect and Go and look into customer success with very experienced consultants who can support our customers in the area of strategic matters. So one key success factor in that these consultants are not, let's say, actively involved in day-to-day business activities of the project, like functional or functional consultants. I think the expert here acts more like a kind of a program manager in context with VSS requirements of today and future, building with the client a roadmap toward tomorrow and what tomorrow shall bring, how we want to measure it, what are the benefits we like to achieve. So they always try to keep the outside view instead of being dug into the project in the day-to-day issues. So that is why I think the strategic consultant being more a customer success partner or manager is a little bit, call it 30,000 feet is a potentially a little bit too high, but it's not in the depth of all the project daily work. Hope that explains it in a better way. Of course, as I just stressed, I think sure our project managers are following the customer strategies and align with the strategic needs and expected benefits and improvements of the project journey. But we should stay focused and not forget that the project manager's main responsibility, whether we like it or not, is to deliver this particular scope and project, ideally on defined time, quality, and budget. And normally with SAP projects from a certain size, various companies are involved, technical, business-wise, even the variety of the processes we like to cover could require maybe some additional partners. From our experience, it's always very difficult and challenging to have the inside and outside view at the same time. Because again, a project manager is more dealing with the situation on the ground, on a day-to-day business, and potentially is not really having the time to focus on strategic topics, on future topics as such. And I think that is where we need to find the balance here. And our customer, or our strategic consultants, I think, they have the necessary long-time experience, not only with the software, but with the industry as such, the automotive or the retail aftermarket, and ideally even knowing that obviously is always the ideal case, the specialities in a region or the project location as such. We all know an automotive dealer in Asia has potentially different needs and behavior and requirements as maybe a dealer in Latin America or in Middle East. And I think those are the constraints we have to deal with. So here's the framework comes into place. So we created a best practice process based on the experience over the last few years. again, Proaxia and our senior consultants dealt with the DBM SAP product over many years, and now with VSS, call it the successor of the S4 HANA-powered DBM, which now is provided and owned by Proaxia. So we start with a standardized kind of questionnaire to understand the customer's business model, the structure, as well as the technical environment, a kind of, call it as is inventory. But then we also need to understand what is the scope, what is the expectation, what shall be the benefits, where is the client looking after. The project is not replacing A with B, which is more a technical migration. It's about potentially also improving and accelerating business transformation, digitalization, or maybe even new areas within my business. So that's what we try with ProGo to address benchmarks, best practices, connecting the dots where necessary. That's awesome. Just contact us and get in touch, ideally, I think, with your regional office. So whether it's our office in Singapore or in Japan, or it's in Dubai, or it's our headquarters in Switzerland, under the Swiss number, which is +41 for Switzerland, 5648418 2081. I think if you go to Proaxia on the internet and you go to our homepage, there you will find all the contact information. Or you can also send us a mail via vss-progo@proaxia-consulting.com. And yes, we will support you in the best way possible. At the end, there is no substitute for accurate knowledge and a premium customer experience. Know yourself, know your business, know your people, and finally, know your leads and customers. That is more or less having the 360-degree view. With that, I think, thank you so much for listening into the post, into our video, into our interview. I hope you enjoyed the talk, and I look forward to seeing you at one of our next events or talk to you on the phone as it is occurring. That's all. Thank you.